Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Suzie. Thanks so much for tuning in with us today. It's been a while. If you guys are watching this on social media, like a YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, please follow, like, comment, join in the conversation, subscribe. Hey. And if you want to share your own truths with us, you can go to sharemytruth.com. You can get our newsletter there where you'll be updated on all our updates and share it with this email, a voicemail, snail mail, whatever you guys want, and give this podcast, or wherever you're listening to it, a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. Hey, babes.
Wow.
Hey.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
Hey. You know what? Mel and I are still in London. And I'm kind of a little tired.
Wow.
No, it's just because, I'm not used to the drinking.
Wow.
Not that that's all we do, but it's like a different alcohol out here.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say or not fair to say?
Well, people drink a lot more in England for sure.
God, do they
on
ever.
an everyday.
Which I love, trust me. The
And
socialization of this.
And the Brits are very sociable.
Yeah. It's
and
nice.
They're out all the time. And I guess we're here for a period of time, so you kind of pack it in.
You gotta pack it in.
And then it's like a lot. Yeah.
But no, I'm not complaining. Just like enjoying my time. I get to wake up and have a coffee with Mel. It's so nice. It's nice to have roomies.
It is.
It's kind of fun.
It is. You're a very easy roomie.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Well, some people aren't.
Oh, I know.
They really aren't.
I mean, I wasn't always the best roommate, I feel like. But I think, as you learn to live with other people,
as you mature,
then you understand.
Yes.
You're like, okay, let's get our shit together.
Yeah.
Let's be helpful.
Exactly.
Babes, what are we talking about today?
So we're talking about why isn't anybody meeting anybody? Like what is the crux of the problem? Why can't people meet people?
God, is that a problem?
And kind of how do you market yourself? Like, what has happened?
Mm-hmm.
And we all know something's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're in it or not, you know something's happened. And people seem to be in crisis. So I want to answer this question. And we would like to caveat that we're looking at it more from the male to female point of view.
Right.
However, we will talk about the other side, but we're sort of talking about, what is going on with men and why can't they meet anyone? Because that's what they seem to complain about. We say this because they complain in our comments all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think traditionally, women were always like, I can't wait till I find a man. And we kind of if you think for back when my parents were dating and stuff like that, like the baby boomers and even the Gen X, you don't have all this technology. So you're kind of in waiting almost until a man finds you and they come back from war and then they choose you. And when women now have so much more choice and possibility of finding their own person, and they've realized that with women can be more choosy, more picky, their standards are higher than ever, their checklists are bigger than ever, and it's just gotten a little bit out of control. Because if you have this, what is it like? I like what you said yesterday, the cookie jar mentality.
Yes.
Of just oh, there's so much going, and you can just take. And yet, it's not actually what you want. And you have to think about the future.
Yes. And it's fine for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of things going on from the female point of view is, at a young age, we've talked about this before, women are the gatekeepers of sex until they're not. I know you don't disagree, but also the other thing is women have been convinced, younger women, that they don't need men and kind of what's the point? And I can do it all myself and I don't need a man. And the practicalities of every day, yeah, you can get a job and you can buy a house and you can do a lot of it yourself. But in terms of companionship and a partner and love and support, that's where the thing falls down. And I think
Yeah.
what happens is women have been told, girl boss, do it yourself, all that. And
Girl
then,
boss.
yeah, and then they get to an age and they're like, oh shit, I actually would quite like a partner and I would like support and, life can be lonely and I would like children and actually I kind of need a man for that,
Yeah.
or I need a partner and I'd like a decent partner,
Mhm.
not just any old schlub.
No, exactly. And I
And
think it is a good thing that people are becoming more like, "Oh, I don't have to go for, a schlub," like you're
yeah,
saying. Like, you can actually be like, "Okay, well, I have a good job. I want my guy to have a good job." Like, you can actually think that way now because women do have more choice and, like, men also, I think, appreciate a woman who takes care of herself and, like, also, like, you know, shows that she can have commitments and things like that.
yeah.
And it's okay to have standards. That's
Ye
totally okay.
Look,
But the
yeah,
standards are just too high.
they're too high. But I mean, if you have standards, hopefully you're less likely to get divorced. So in that sense, that's a good idea.
Mm,
Because in the day maybe we settled. And I think the big difference back in the day, from my observation as a woman, you had to make a lot of effort and put yourself out there. So you
mhm,
had to go to events, to parties,
mhm,
to stuff. You had to go to stuff to meet people. It wasn't sort of necessarily coming to you, except the big difference was if you went to a bar, men approached you. I mean, literally,
right.
unless you looked like the back end of a bus, which is a good English expression. It's horrible, isn't it? You literally, men would
Oh my
approach you.
god.
And,
Yeah.
a bit of dark lighting, anybody will approach you.
That's nice. I
But,
like the bar. I
but,
like a bar.
and that apparently doesn't happen
No.
anymore. And then obviously there is this crazy online thing, which I've talked about a lot. And, as Gen Xers, the difference in our generation is we're very tech savvy.
Mm,
We use technology,
mhm,
but we're more like take it or leave it because we grew up in the generation where we met people in real life.
mhm.
So today, people are literally talking endlessly on messaging apps, not actually speaking to people. They go to work, they kind of go to the gym, they might go for a drink, but then a lot of people are not drinking and
Yeah.
not socializing. And then they wonder why they can't meet anyone.
Well, when we're relying on technology, that's when
Yes.
it becomes horrible because
Yes.
it's like, how can you rely on technology when meeting someone is the most natural thing in the world,
Exactly.
right? So it's just so sad to see that, okay, obviously people are relying on these apps,
Yeah.
which are literally made to keep you on them.
Yes.
It's like the algorithms, the everything, like, you think these apps are making money
Yeah.
because to get you off and get
Yeah.
married?
Exactly.
No. They will literally there's a huge problem with the apps where they will only show you, like, if you are a better looking person, it knows to show you better looking people. If you're not so good looking person, it won't show you the better looking people. And
Yeah.
it's like a proven thing that
Yeah.
some of these apps do that. And so they might be keeping you from someone who you'd actually have a great connection with,
Yeah.
but because it's all about,
Yeah.
face
Yeah.
and, like,
Physical. Yeah.
physical attraction and nothing to do with what's inside and what makes an actual connection, it's all fucked.
Well, you've been indoctrinated. And then the other problem is, you might see a photo of somebody,
Mm,
but if you met that person in real life because they're warm and they're
mm,
kind of magnetic and charismatic, you might be attracted to them, even though you might not have on a photo. So you
mm,
can't, like, those things are different. And I just think that, yeah, I mean, this point of keeping people on the apps. And I think this other thing, because there's so much choice, the other
mm,
problem that's happening, I can see this, is that the men at the top, so
mm.
extremely good looking, very high earners, um, blah blah blah, whatever the other things are,
Blah, blah, blah.
that
Blah,
stuff.
blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Top tier.
The top tier, the 10s.
On paper, they're top tier.
Got it. Yes, of
They're not
course.
necessarily top tier people.
Exactly.
I think because of the internet, women know this is a thing. I don't think we knew this was a thing because this information,
Which part?
well, we lived in an information vacuum. So we didn't live in this you only got information if it was kind of on the TV or a newspaper or magazine or whatever. There wasn't this constant of information, right? Did you
Right.
hear that? And so this concept that now people talk about all the time, men at the top and men in the middle and men at the bottom, and the same with women. We didn't talk about this shit.
Right.
In fact, in my generation, when I was dating, nobody talked about generations. Nobody
Right.
talked about it. Nobody talked about, oh, this generation's like this and this is like this. And we didn't talk about any of things.
It's so irrelevant.
It's completely irrelevant. It's a very kind of modern, recent thing, and maybe last 20 years or whatever.
Well, that's because of technology, though.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that you are continually fed stuff. So then I think this thing is that women now see all this stuff because of the internet, so they can see these incredibly attractive men. I mean, in my day, it was one of your favorites, Tom Selleck. It was like whoever you watched on TV.
Yeah.
And they were, but you knew that's a Hollywood actor. You knew that that's over there.
That's over there, and that's not going to happen to me.
Very nice
unfortunately,
to look at, but let's get real.
Yes.
Unless you're Pamela Anderson or
Right.
whatever at the time, whoever was famous at the time. And so I think that's the problem. And then we feed women this ridiculous crap that you can just be yourself and be whatever you want to be.
Yes.
And look like whatever, and you're still going to get Tom Selleck,
Right.
which is not true.
Yeah.
So the men at the top are, they're having a fabulous time because they can choose from this enormous pool of women because all these women want them. Right? And then all the men below that, who are all the men in the world, who quite frankly could have great jobs. They just don't look like, again, we'll use Tom Selleck or,
because I love Tom Selleck.
Exactly.
I love a mustache. What can I say?
They don't look like that, which is most people, and most women don't look like
Pamela Anderson. We're talking about her.
To use old, comparisons. So all these people in the middle are stuck.
Yes.
But I think women have choice, but I think also it's a false choice.
Right.
Because they have choice because what men like doing this, swipe, 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 swipe. And so they'll meet all these women. They don't want to have relationships with them. So I think it's a false sense of security.
Well, yeah, because also there's this thing that I think men, particularly because they don't really talk to their friends about the stuff.
Yeah.
And they don't think about it themselves. They're not like, what do I actually want in a partner?
Yeah.
Men, I feel like, don't think that way.
Yeah.
And would it be better if they did? For sure. Because then you could actually go inside and be like, do I want her to have a good job? Is that important to me that my partner has a good job? Do I want her to wear makeup? Do I want her to, do I want to have kids? Like all of these things that like are very like, important decisions when picking a partner. It's like, and these are things that might be important to you. I don't think they think about that. And they just like are like, oh, I like her. But they don't think about why I like her. Is it because she looks so good? Or is it because she has a great job?
Yeah.
Or like, what is it? Is it just like she's nurturing? Like, what are these little points where women obsess about like every single little thing that we like or dislike about a guy, which is a huge problem because then we're on these little fucking apps and I'm on the app. So I know is that, you have all these little parts that the apps will tell you. And you obviously have to volunteer this information. Like everyone has to volunteer this information. You don't have to put every single little thing about you. But like, if they're the wrong like horoscope sign, swipe left, like if they're the wrong job, it's like swipe left. It's like every single little thing women will look at. And so the fact that, these great men, whether they have the wrong job, like in quotations, obviously like, you're making money. That's amazing. How it's no such thing as like a wrong job. But just like, you have the wrong job. So you're getting swiped left. You have the fucking wrong, you're a Scorpio. So you're swiping left. It's like these women are so nuts. And it's like, or obviously the obvious one, the man is under 6 foot. Swipe left. Yeah. Which is so obnoxious.
It's obnoxious
it's
and
so
ridiculous. And we've done this. We've looked like at a lot of profiles on Bumble and Hinge. I've looked at.
Well, I've had to make you. I'd be like, please do this for me.
And it's exhausting. So I feel like I'm and then I'd say the vast majority of men say they're 6 foot. And you're
Yes.
like, they can't be.
Exactly.
They can't be. They can't all be 6 foot. And then I just think the big problem
But this is the fucked up thing with the algorithm too. The algorithm
is
works
showing you,
against the guys who are under 6
of course,
foot.
it's showing you the people who are 6 foot who are not really 6 foot.
Mhm.
And then this thing of it's just so curated.
Mhm.
And that isn't life. And I
Mhm.
think that's the crux of the problem, is life is not curated.
Mhm.
And so you're seeing all these things you think are important.
Mhm.
Whereas in the old days, you
The
saw
old
somebody
days.
physically
Yeah.
you were attracted to, that not
The
necessarily
actual vibe was there.
the vibe, exactly. So that person may
Right.
not be attractive to the next person, but you got the connection. And then you find all this stuff out, and then you kind of weed them out. And I don't think it's a bad thing that women and men have standards. But I think what has happened with this thing with women is they are rejecting a lot of men all the time. And so
Right.
then we get into this environment where now men are like, well, I can't be bothered because all she's asking about is how much I earn without
Mhm.
really understanding what that means. I mean, a lot of
Mhm.
particularly young women are like, you know, he has to be able to buy me a $5 million house. I feel like that accent. And
What accent was that?
I don't know. I just made
That
that
was
up.
excellent, though.
And he
That's
has to
so
make,
funny.
you know, $500,000 a year and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, that's not real.
No, it's not.
And do you know what? If he could buy you a $2 million house in most places is fucking unbelievably amazing. And if he makes 150,000 or is amazing. And like,
No, that's
you know, and
amazing.
if you are like into female empowerment, like, why are you asking for these things?
Yeah.
And so it's all very messed up. So what we're looking at is from the male point of view, because we get this comment in our comments many, many
A
times.
comment in our comments.
That why are men, let's say, in the mass, so below this, what they call themselves top tier, but I also think that's
I think
stupid.
that's a little bit of bullshit.
Like men who are saying they're 6 foot and have huge salaries and, you know, are amazing and have a boat and whatever they have.
They have a boat.
Like where
Doesn't
is
hurt if a guy has a boat, though.
where is everyone else?
Well, where are
And
people
how
meeting?
and where
Mel?
are people meeting? Well, they're not, are they?
They're not. But
They're
where?
not.
So since you obviously you grew up in the non-technology age,
I did.
sort of.
No, I did.
Well, no, yeah,
When
but
I met,
yeah, like without the phones. Exactly. So like,
we didn't have phones till later. So, but how did people
what
meet?
was the best thing that a guy could do when he
The
came up
best-
to you?
The best.
Because you're a hot little tottie. You're a hot little tottie in
That's
the
so funny.
bar. And you're just sitting there all cute, and some guy's gonna come up to you, and he's gonna be like, "Hey,
I think, you know, just
can I buy you a
like,
drink?"
yeah,
Is that
but
what they're saying?
just being genuine, being nice, being funny, not being creepy. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not a big ask, is it?
It's
And
fucking
I
not.
think that the main way most of my friends met was obviously in the workplace, which now has become a minefield.
Mm.
And the second way, which is the way I met my husband, is other people matched other people up.
Right.
So that was a big thing. There was like, oh, everyone was thinking, I know this person, and they'd kind of match you up, and not necessarily go on a blind date, which I have had been, which was not good, but was like, let's say you have a party or you go for drinks, and you specifically invite the guy and the girl, so there's no pressure.
Mm.
And you tell them, there's this girl I know, there's this guy I know. And that's how I met my husband. It was like we had a mutual friend who was a woman who's like, oh, I know this girl, I know this guy. And she arranged like drinks in a pub.
Drinks in a pub.
In England,
Classic
that's
England.
very
Love it.
very relaxed. So you can have the drink and go,
Mhm.
or you can carry on drinking. Like,
Yes.
there's no pressure. And then, but the onus then is definitely on the man, to, if he liked the girl, get her number and actually proactively
Okay,
do
right.
something.
Okay, so let me just say something about this. Okay,
Which
guys,
men did.
if you are on the apps, this is something that pisses me off.
Mhm.
And it's literally, I'll be on the apps. I'll be having a nice little chat with a guy on an app. We've matched, obviously. I'm obviously interested. He's obviously interested. We're fucking chatting. When that guy doesn't ask for my number, and we've been chatting on the app, I'm like, what are you doing? You're not trying to close the deal here. Like, you're not even asking my number. You're not asking like, hey, like, what are you doing on Tuesday? Like, let's go. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like, why don't you want to make that move?
I have two answers
All
for
right,
that.
go ahead.
Okay. So one answer that I think is a lot, and it goes into, what we're talking about, being a little bit honest as to why you're on the apps.
Yeah.
If you're there to cheat or to hook up, you're keeping this in the app. Because
Right.
then it
But then
it
they're not even
won't.
asking out.
Yeah, well, then they're doing it to sort of cheat
Ego?
online. Yeah.
Cheat online.
Yeah, they are. But if they keep it in the app, and I think women are doing this too. If you keep it in the app, then your partner is not really going to see it because it's not, your messages aren't pinging. You can turn off notifications, and it's kind of neatly in this app.
Right.
And it's all there, and kind of, that's the app.
That's your nasty
Yeah,
app.
exactly. So I think there's a definite element for that, and I think there's this weird crossover between digital and analog,
Yeah.
which is like real life. And I think people they don't do it. And I don't think, because there is this way of kind of shopping for people, which is what apps are, people are not very honest with their intentions. I'm not saying they always were in the past. Of course, there weren't. Plenty of people lied. But they're not very honest about their intentions. And,
Yeah.
and I think, you know what? Let's just save everyone a bit of time. If you're there to kind of just date and have fun and have flings and whatever, that's fine. But maybe just be honest about it. If you're there to meet somebody you might as well just cut out a lot of time and say, I'm looking for long-term stuff. And I know that there's a lot of the profiles and the bios that say that. I'm not sure I believe it. I think it's just there to attract women. It's like, it's like SEO. It's like,
it's just so
search engine
It's just like you said.
optimization.
It's so curated.
It's to drag people to the thing. So I think a bit of honesty is really important.
But how do people meet in real life? So, I mean,
Okay.
obviously men,
And we've talked about this, and we've got mixed results. Some men actually doing it really well.
absolutely.
And some people going, "You're crazy. I'm going to get accused this and that and the other."
Here's
And
the
you're
thing.
not,
Men aren't
weird.
practicing enough.
100%.
This is the whole thing, right? You
Yeah.
can't just and I'm not saying don't go to the hottest girl in the room, but just practice with the fucking barista at your Starbucks. You know what I mean? Just practice
Yeah,
having a real
flirty.
conversation with a stranger.
You can be flirty.
Well, no, but not
fun.
even being flirty.
Weird.
Well, no, it's just not even being flirty, though. It's literally just the fact of having a fucking conversation. Because as soon as you start getting into flirting territory, then there's that possibility that you're going to put too much pressure on that situation.
But people don't even do that. They order their coffee online on their app, and then they go pick it up.
So let's stop that. So go into the fucking cafe.
When I buy a coffee, I just, because I don't do it enough, I just go and pick it up and talk to the person.
Yes, babe, but you're not trying to meet someone.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's not if you think about how mad it is, how are you going to meet anybody if you do everything in a convenience way?
No, but
so
this
you
is what
order
I'm
your
saying.
food on Uber Eats. You don't go out to restaurants. You don't go to parties because you're tired. You go to the gym and don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
How are you going to meet anybody? You're not. And then you're going to meet people, specifically men in this kind of, basically all of men in this group. And then you're going to get very upset when you get rejected. And look, I'm not telling you rejection is nice. I don't think rejection from a male or a female point of view is nice. It's awful. But you're going to have to get over it.
No, here's the thing. So we have to break this performance mindset that men have, right?
Yes.
And so a lot of guys, we're saying with this stop flirting. You can just have a fucking real conversation with someone, right? Because it's you really don't have to think that every interaction leads to something sexy or leads anywhere.
It's just an interaction.
It's just an interaction, right? And so if you're just reframing it as some kind of a micro connection that you're just okay, this is a nice interaction. That's great. And that's practice for the day. You can do that once a day. Then you can, by Friday, let's say you do that for the 5 days.
Yeah.
Do that on Friday. And then you go meet someone while you're out on Friday with your friends.
Yeah.
You can feel way more confident about I'm just talking to a stranger. That's
just
all
make
it is.
Easier. And I know plenty of, people who are much younger than me and men who are able to do it. It is possible. You just, like everything, have to practice. And then maybe, I know I've said this a million times, but go and do something. I mean, I don't care if you're in the hiking club, the tennis club, the
Yeah,
pickleball
just have a
club,
hobby.
the wine tasting club, the cooking club. Go and do anything that you find interesting, that
Yeah.
you enjoy.
Yeah.
I know running has actually
The run
become a
clubs.
bit of a hookup thing now, but just go do anything that you're interested in without necessarily the intention of meeting somebody. And I'm not talking about the gym or a class where you're going to meet absolutely nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a thing that you do, a hobby,
Yeah.
and it could be anything. You know, the
Yeah.
winter ski club in the fucking ice skate. What does it matter what it is?
Yeah.
Make sourdough bread. I don't care.
Be
And then
nice.
you are going to have conversations with real people. And don't put the pressure of this is all about meeting, and you might meet somebody. And at the very least, you'll meet probably some friends,
Well, here's the thing.
and then that will increase your social group.
We want to give everyone a challenge. If you're
Okay.
having problems meeting real people in real life,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking about just women because I feel like men have problems also meeting friends too.
Mhm.
So if you're a man and you are like, I want to start meeting women, I want to start meeting men, I want to start meeting girls, whoever, if you just put those interactions super low stakes,
Yeah.
and let's say, guys, I want you to try this. If you just say 5 hellos a day,
Yeah.
just say hi to 5
And
strangers.
don't be like,
in the street,
yeah, be nice.
in the barista, in
Yeah.
wherever you are. Not weird, just hi.
Yeah.
How nice is that?
No.
Smiling at people. No one
Yeah.
smiles at people anymore.
Yeah. And then
I mean, it depends where you
kind
are.
of expand that. It does, and like we're currently in London, and everyone's really aggressive here, and everyone's not very friendly. However, we do, like in England, we have this thing like people like to banter.
Mhm.
So have a bit of banter, chat to
Mhm.
somebody. I don't care who you're chatting to. Chat to somebody.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So if you
Make
feel
some
like
effort.
yes, and like if you're giving people compliments, and I'm not saying just women even, just being like, "Hey man, I like your shoes."
Yeah.
It actually brings out something in you, because what is that person going to do? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, this was a nice interaction, and then maybe
Yeah.
you'll have a conversation. It doesn't have to be anything more than that too. I think that's something that a lot of people even just get really caught up in, is they find that they have to feel like there has to be a point to this conversation. It's like,
Yes.
no, let's just like actually just have a nice
Yeah.
interaction. Compliment someone on their shoes, compliment their bag. Like, it doesn't have to be anywhere on their body.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sexual. And I think that's really important for people to try.
Or find the thing that's you can do comfortably, because I know that that is a problem for men.
Yeah.
Because I know women can compliment people and it's not weird and they don't get into trouble or
No, of
nobody looks at
course.
them. When men start to do it, everyone's like, you know. So I think just find something that you're comfortable with. Stop being scared of the world and interact in some way, right? Not like, ordering your coffee on your app and going to the gym and going to work and going home
And you have
and
your headphones in the whole time.
your headphones in the whole time. Exactly. And make some effort. And also don't be so scared of rejection in any format, because I think you have to look at the rejection in a different way and just say, okay, well, that wasn't meant to be. Let's move on.
I think it's just, rejection is just a literal normal part of life.
I mean, if you don't take a risk, like if you think a lot of men who are working, let's say they have their own company or they're working, they're trading stocks and whatever they're doing, they'll take risks in that. So then they know in order to make money, you have to take risks. So you're going to have to take risks. And you'll have to, and I know everyone's going to come at us because they will and say, well, I can't do that because women are going to sue me and all this sort of stuff. I get it. So find a way. The world isn't changing in the next 5 minutes. We
Right.
are where we are. Neither of us are saying that's great. But we are where we are. So if you want to meet women, you are going to have to, figure out how to get into the world. You're going to have to be a bit honest with your intentions. You're going to have to make some effort. And you're going to have to not worry about being rejected all the time.
Yeah.
And if you go on a date and it doesn't work, it's a fucking date. Move on.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
How many dinners have you had in your life? Sitting, eating in front of the TV. Well, it's one of them. You just happen to have it with another person. It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just go, okay, she wasn't great. She wasn't my vibe. She was weird. She was nuts. Okay, fine. Move on.
Yeah. Go to
That's
the next
it.
one.
Or you really liked her and she didn't like me. Okay, shame, but you have one date.
Yeah.
It's fine. Move on.
Yeah.
And just keep trying.
That's what everyone
Make a
does.
bit
This is
of
what everyone
effort.
does when they're dating. Is you have
Life
to
is
literally
effort.
just try.
Yeah. And, I'm not saying it isn't harder for men. I'm not saying that the kind of scene hasn't changed, the landscape. It definitely has.
Mhm.
But we've had like past guests on this and we've talked about this a lot. We are where we are.
Mhm.
So you can complain incessantly,
Exactly.
or you can go and do something about it and change the way you're going about it. And we actually did an episode recently, and it was one of our listeners on YouTube who said he's actively chosen to go out and
Mhm.
to use his exercise his flirting muscles to kind of go out there and be a little bit more kind of
Approach women,
yeah,
but in a nice
yeah,
way.
exactly. And it's working for him.
Yeah.
So, he's made that active decision. He knows the
I love that.
landscape
He's made an
and it,
active decision. You have to do that for your
exactly.
mind.
He knows it's difficult.
Mhm.
So also, if you are somebody, the last thing I would say about this, if you are a man who is shy and you haven't practiced this, because for some men it's very easy, they're
Mhm.
very confident, they're very secure, they can talk to anybody.
Mhm.
If you are finding that difficult, and think of a way you can do it that is kind of comfortable for you.
Well, this is the thing. So it's like if you are finding it that you need to practice your social skills.
Yes.
In
There
any
you
way.
go. That's it.
Right? You have to
That's it.
practice your
With
social
anybody.
skills. Yeah, exactly. So you just treat it like you would if you do go to the gym or anything. Like you have to put your reps in. If you're
Yeah.
not going to put your reps in, you're not going to start with a 300-pounder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to go in and you just have to say hi to random people. It's literally just like practicing your social skills,
Yeah.
trying to have a conversation, complimenting people. There's that amazing book about, making friends and whatever. What's that book called?
Excellent. That's really
You know what
helpful.
I mean?
Making friends with whatever.
I have to look it up
But
now.
it's like anything. Like if you know, you want to do exercise or you want to go on a diet or whatever, you have to choose the route that you can do. You're
Yes.
not going to like you know,
Mm.
I'm only going to eat cheese if you're dairy intolerant, or
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym when you hate, or I'm going to start running when you hate running. So do something you
Right,
like.
don't do something you don't
Right, do
like.
something you like. But I mean, we've been in London for the last week, and one of the things we've seen, and she's like, oh, people are out and they play tennis and they do
Mhm.
stuff. Go do something.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's also
And it requires effort.
it's How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's what it
Okay.
was. Sorry, everyone.
Anyway.
That's what I meant. But yeah, so I mean, yes, absolutely. You have to go out and you have to do something. It was just like I remember when I was in sales, and
Mm.
sales was really hard. And meeting people and dating is literally just like sales. You
Yes.
have to market yourself properly.
Yes.
And so I remember when I was in sales, because a part of my sales was in person. It was very in-person sales, and I had to go find clients myself. So, and the way I would find clients is I would just start random conversations with random people.
Yeah.
And the way I would do that is to like trick my brain into like giving myself a reward.
Mm.
So it was like if I was going to go get a coffee, which I really love to do, I love to spend money and go get coffees. And so I would go to one of my favorite coffee shops that had like all of the guys that I had to sell to pretty much. And I wouldn't be able to buy myself a coffee until I talked to one person.
Right.
And until I did that for myself. And then I gave myself a reward right after. So that's how you have to train your brain into figuring out this is okay. This is safe. I'm not going to die because I'm talking to a new person.
Exactly.
And it's okay. Like, this is hard. I'm not saying this isn't hard. This is hard for me. I have to go talk to random people. It's not easy for people. So the people who are having problems, it's okay you're having problems. We're all having problems. I think it's the fact that just you have to challenge yourself more. You have to allow yourself to be in an unsafe space, even though it's scary. Because
I
it
agree.
is. And it's okay that you're having problems as long as you're working on it.
And just do it in a way that makes you happy, which is why I know bang on about it. But if you like doing something, which is whatever it is, as long as it's not super male, like car mechanic class.
Car mechanic class?
There might be not.
Well, there might be like one woman and she's probably married.
Exactly. So just think of something you're like, okay, I'd be interested in learning about that. And you know what? You could go to the first class and think, oh my God, this is a pile of shit. I hate it.
Yeah, and get out.
And I hate the people. So don't carry on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. But you have to think of something that's sociable. And then, also, I hope you've asked your mates if they know anybody. Ask people.
Oh, that's exactly what I do.
Do you know the other place that's also a really good place?
Where?
People to ask?
Where?
Is ask older people, not too old, but like people of my generation. If you're like, because we've had this conversation, if you're like
This is all we talk about.
If you're in your 30s and like an aunt or somebody like that, like me, who's like in her 50s, do you know anybody? Does a friend get set up? That's the easiest way to get set up.
All I do is ask people to set me up.
Women love that. We love it. I love to see success. I love to see people happy.
Yes.
So if I know anybody, and we've come up with a few suggestions for you, not necessarily work, but that's not the point. But tap into all these things.
It doesn't matter if it's worked or not.
Network.
It's just the fact that I'm going to do it.
Network.
The fact that I'm like able and allowing myself to go meet people. Also, even if you go and meet someone who you're like, it's probably not she's not my type, or like whatever. She could have a friend, or like she could also introduce you to her friends, who then you might find someone you like. Like every single person
a friend
allows you to meet other people.
It's like a spider's web of people. And also the women who meet men and they're like, he's a really nice guy, but he's not my type. Maybe be nice and think, oh, actually, I know somebody.
Exactly.
Like, actually be a bit proactive. I love proactive. So that's what I think. And I think we'd really like to hear from anybody, like we have heard from a couple of listeners, and I've mentioned one listener who said he was actively doing, like, let us know. Like, if you do it, you decide today, listen to this podcast and you go, I'm going to do it. Let us know if it works.
You know what, guys? Just think of it as reps. You're putting your fucking reps in.
Yeah.
You're talking to one person.
Like anything.
That's one rep.
You win.
Congratulations.
Some, you lose some.
Go do another one.
Yeah.
I'm your fucking trainer. Let's fucking go.
Wow.
Guys.
Okay.
Get those reps in. Get those abs.
That's all I have to say on the matter today.
All right, babes. That's good. That's very good.
Excellent.
And if you guys, we would absolutely love to share your stories with us. Please go to shaремytruth.com, where you can tell us about your dating experiences. Please do that. Or you go to any of our socials at shaремytruthpod. DM us there. Tell us about your life. Tell us about your qualms.
Qualms?
I don't know. Is that a word?
It is, yes.
There you go.
She's becoming British, yes.
And we'll chat with you later.
Bye, till next time. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website at sharingmytruth.com to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.